Larry, thank you so much for being here and for your patience. I honestly, I appreciate your time, and I'm excited to get to know you today. Um, my understanding is that you're a former business owner and a realtor. So, why don't you start by sharing with us your background?
Well, I've always, not always, I mean, I've been in the military. After the military, I started a window cleaning service. Basically got on my rollerblades, went door to door and said, "Hey, I'll clean your windows." Then I went there and gave them a quote. And that actually ended up getting about 1,500 clients. And it was just hard work, just, from grinding from day to day. And, when you do a good job and your neighbors tell you about it, hey, it was kind of word of mouth thing. So that went pretty well. I sold that. And then I started a daycare, uh, a children's daycare and preschool with my ex-wife. She still owns that. As a matter of fact, the window cleaning service is still owned by my friend Sean Karst. Um, my ex-wife still owns the 4 preschool daycare centers, and during that time, I've always done more than one thing at a time because multiple incomes, create security. I got my real estate license.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for about 10 years. And after I sold my end of the daycares to my ex-wife, I opened up a doggy daycare and grooming facility. So, basically what that is, they just get along and they play with each other instead of being kennelled 27 while you're out of town. So, we gave them something to do. They weren't stuck in a little cage. And I loved it. I really did. But the thing about it is that it took all of my time. So I was there constantly.
Mhm.
If they didn't show up, I had to go to work. If somebody, made a mistake, I had to get on the phone and talk to the owners. I had to make sure everything was dialed in. I was the system. I couldn't go on vacation. I couldn't spend time with my kids. I couldn't do anything. So that's a little bit of my background. And then I was approached in Viseo. I already knew what Viseo was about because I did research before they even launched. So I was excited that it came back to me. For me, it was like, it was meant to be kind of. So I did the research. I don't remember why I didn't jump in at the time that I did my research, but it came back around and somebody introduced me to it, and it was like it was supposed to happen. So I jumped on board. I've been in Viseo since last November, so not quite a year. But
Mhm.
I was able to generate enough income to where I could sell the doggy daycare and do this more full time. So that's a great aspect of this company. But yeah, I sold the business in January, and I've been doing Viseo ever since.
So let me ask you, what brought you? I mean, you had been, your background is broad. I mean, from all different businesses, not even related. What brought you from that background into network marketing? What captured your attention? What was it that um, drove you in?
Okay, well, I had done a little bit of Amway when I was a kid, a long time, like 20 something years ago. I did that. That was rough for me. I hadn't been a business owner yet. It was something that I just jumped into with some friends. But at that time right there, Amway is more like household goods, that sort of things. And I didn't have household. I lived with my parents. So it wasn't something for me. So it really work out the way that I wanted it to. And then I did a little bit of ACN, which was, the video phones, things like that. I did fairly well in that. I was able to network. I grew my team pretty decent size. The problem was their comp plan wasn't that great, and the other bad thing was that as soon as the iPhone came out with FaceTime, their video camera was not. I mean, it was obsolete. It was so like dinosaurish
Correct.
compared to what they had there. So
Uh-huh.
you put yourself in a risk, and you have to get into something that's a combination of something that's disrupting, the industry that you're in. You have to have the education, and you have to have the support from, your mentors. Both of the other direct marketing companies that I was in, basically they signed you up and then you were just on your own. They didn't teach you how to get people in. They didn't teach you about the product. They didn't teach you about anything. And it was very frustrating. They want you to come and show all these hoorah, events every week, but then they don't really tell you, why would anybody want to jump on board with me? And that's really what hit me the best is like my first conversation with Rick was had nothing to do with anything about product or anything like that. He knew that I had been in business, and he was going to teach me how to do it the easy way, the most profitable way,
Mhm.
and the smartest way.
Exactly.
I hadn't been doing things smart. I thought I had been, smart in business, but I hadn't. And it took me a while to kind of adjust, because I was used to trading my time for money. And,
Mhm.
used to having to work lots and lots of hours a day in order to pay myself, because otherwise I'm going to have to put my trust into people that I don't really trust, that I'm paying 10 to 12 bucks an hour, and that's tough to do. Sorry, hopefully I don't click off, but everybody keeps, I keep getting alerts off, and then I can't see your face. So, yeah, I mean, so the way that it was explained to me this time was very attractive. It was something that I could actually see the comp plan. It was very clear to me how to make money in this industry. And along with that, I mean, I started taking the products. They were ridiculously, great for me. I lost a lot of, 40 something pounds now off the product.
Wow.
And even all the other products that I can't really do a huge testimony for, I love them. I take them on a daily basis. So that to me was enough to make me give it another try, because before I didn't have leaders or anybody to follow or anybody that would just, be there with me. I would call, hey, can I get some help? Nope, no help. There is unbelievable amount of outreach in this company that I didn't get anywhere else, that I haven't seen in any other business, to be honest with you. When I call somebody, whether I know them or not, they're willing to help me on a whim, just, hey, hey, can you answer me these questions? Yeah, it's this, that, and the other. Hey, let me do some research on this for you. So it's very you know, enlightening to see that people are willing to help, even though they're not benefiting from me.
Mhm.
And it's really encouraging, because I like it. I love the products. I love the people, and the culture is just amazing. And, to have this
Yes.
on top of it is crazy. I just have never seen it like this. So I see the growth. I have been in this company since November, and I've seen so many people, hit silver, hit gold, hit platinum, hit ruby. I saw Kim Bodker the other day hit diamond. That is ridiculously amazing. I mean, in that short amount of time, we've been in business. They've launched for what, 21 months ish, something like that. Um,
Uh-huh.
and to see the amount of money that's available to anybody that's willing to work and put the effort in, it's phenomenal.
And I completely agree with you. I mean, in the little time that I had been in the business, what really, really caught my attention was the business school, because I didn't have that on my previous company. And I was trying to get that on the side and customize it to what I was doing. So it was like an extra step that I was doing in order for me to continue to grow within the company. So I agree with you, and you are the perfect example, because we just met, and I reached out to you, and you immediately said to me, "Of course, I would hop on a call with you." And just like you said, I never had that on my previous company, and nobody was willing to go that extra mile to help you or to guide you. So that I'm very happy for that I have found that here. And I wanted to ask you, based on your experience, how can someone that had a bad taste before, or that didn't get where they wanted to get, or where they thought they would get when they join a company, what would you tell them, with us having a business company and I mean a business school and finance school? Uh, what would you tell them, like, to try it and not to have a bad taste because of what happened maybe 10 or 15 years ago?
Okay, well, there's a lot of things that I can tell you. 10 or 15 years ago, we didn't have social media. We didn't have Facebook Live. We had to go door knock. We had to go talk to people. We had to go approach people in person every single time, call them on the phone or whatever.
Mhm.
That it makes it so much easier to get out to your network, to where they don't have to really sit there and listen to you in a house party. And they can take the pieces that they want, and eventually when they see you go through your process, and we're doing these interviews so that they can see some of the successes that are happening in this company, they don't have to sit through it like a program, you know what I mean? And they just go, oh, you know what, and they'll come to you when it's their time. And I'll tell you,
Mhm.
most of the people that are currently on my team now that I personally recruited, I did not call them. I did not approach them. I didn't say anything to them. What happened was is they texted me on, or they messaged me on Facebook and said, "Hey, what is it you're doing?" And I said, "Well, listen, if you got 5 or 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. I'll show you what the advantages are and how the team grows and how you make money and how you learn from the education, that we have online. It's so much easier now. Before, also, you had to go to a specific place to learn more about the product, to learn more about the company and the content. Rick gets on here 3 days a week. Jason and Matt get on here on Mondays, and they tell you exactly what it is you need to know from your own home, from your phone. Not only that, but you don't have to sit when they're on. You can save that video and watch it whenever you're ready. This is why it's such a perfect company now to build on a part-time basis, 1 to 2 hours a day. And you don't have to take out of your life. You can go do your full-time job until you find it to match what it is that you're making, or see where your goals are, whatever your goals are before you leave your other full-time job. I mean, I was able to do this while I was working 14, 16-hour days at my own company, and I was able to build it up to where I was comfortable selling that company and not having anything to do with it anymore. So it's so much different now than it used to be. The other thing is that, I'm jumping on board, and you're jumping on board with a guy that's already made 2 legacy companies. When you see that, and I always use, Steve Jobs, if he were to come back to life and say, "I'm starting up a new company with computers, you want to jump on?" Well, I'm jumping on. I don't know about everybody.
Me too.
Sense to me. Dallin has done this a couple of times with 2 different companies, and listen, if he's going to do it a 3rd time, this is going to be the last one. I'm going to take my chance. Every company that I've owned has cost me anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 to start. Okay, you've got all the ins and outs. You've got all the licenses, all the permits. You have to do your marketing, advertising. This is a company that you can start and make multiple figures instantly for $1,600. I mean, to me, that's a risk that I'd be willing to take on any, let alone something that can give me 10 times the return or more, in not too long of a time. So it's so much different now than it used to be. And I can say that because I've been in it. And I was frustrated just like everybody else. I gave up, and they say you don't fail until you actually quit. Well, I've taken breaks from SEO too, but I haven't quit. That's what's the beauty about this, is that you can take a break if you're frustrated. You can take a break if people aren't giving you the responses that you're wanting, and you can continue doing your marketing, having these interviews, and then eventually your person's going to come in and say, "Hey, I'm really interested in what you're doing. I love it. I watch you all the time." And as creepy as it sounds, people are watching you all the time. Whereas before, I've gotten people like, somebody that I hadn't seen since high school go, "Oh yeah, I've been watching you." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's a little creepy, but yes, let's talk about it." But they've been the best people. So be patient, stick with it. There's going to be frustrations in everything you do. If I said I wasn't frustrated in every single business that I've ever owned, I'd be lying to you. But listen, the hard work that you do now is going to make it, able to do what you want to do later on, what other people can't. So they're still going to be trading their time for money, and they're still going to be going and clocking in and clocking out, but you're going to be sitting on your residual income check each month and going on vacation with your kids and your family, and having the life that you couldn't have before.
That is so true. I totally agree with that. And I had been talking to people that are in real estate or that they have their own businesses, and their first reaction is like, "I don't have time for that. I don't have time to put something else on my plate." And it is so simple just to have an open mind and understand that yes, anything that you start, it's going to take a little bit of time from you, but the payoff in the long run is such a big turnaround. How would you explain that? Like, I like to open their eyes in a ways that they had never thought about it, like to plant the seed. How would you do that when you're talking to somebody that maybe has their own mentality and the only way to do it is to work harder and harder and expect a better turnaround?
Well, what I tell them is that you see how you don't have time now to do what it is that you want to do. 10 years from now, you're going to be doing the same thing. This is when you take advantage of things like this that take a little bit of time to build each day, and then in the end, you will have that time. You're not you're not going to be in any different situation 10 years from now if you're trading your time for money. So when is a good time? It's never a good time. Just start. And here's the thing, like I said, you can take breaks. You don't have to sit here and drive this and drive this and drive this. If you need a break, take a couple of weeks off, go on vacation with your family. The money's still going to be coming in. That's why it's residual income. It's something that when you build, it keeps coming in after you take breaks. After you go on vacation, you're going to continue getting paychecks. Well, it's not going to just miraculously come about. It's work. I mean, and sometimes it's frustrating, because the frustrating part is depending on other people that aren't duplicating. Okay. So, and I've had that a lot as well. But as long as you keep plugging along, you're going to find your person that is going to just kill the business for you. Okay. And that's all we're really doing. We're duplicating. So if you don't have the time now, that is fine. You don't have to have the time. That's why we can save these videos when we want and watch them when we do have time. Instead of watching our Bachelor in Paradise ever on TV, we can be watching the stuff that's going to educate us to bring us to the next level in this company. So those are the things that I would tell them too. It's like, we don't have time to do a lot of stuff, but if we put our minds to it, we will have enough. And eventually when you build this business up, you're going to say, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner, because I've wasted how many hours, how many days, how many weeks, months, and years on the job that I'm building for somebody else to be rich, and so you don't have enough time to make yourself a better person in a better position, better financially. And to me, that doesn't make sense. You don't have time not to do this. Okay. It's just, for me, a no-brainer. And so, yeah, I would approach it to them that way, is that, the more you say you don't have time, the more 10 years from now, you're going to not have time either.
Exactly.
So
what I love is that this is a personal growth with a compensation plan. And lately I have been finding myself telling myself, like, where was I that I didn't know about this when I was going through college, when I was going through the university, that I had to find 2 or 3 different jobs in order to squeeze in my classes in between. So, it's like, it is so simple and so easy. Like, technology has made it so simple for us nowadays to build a business from the comfort of our home without having to, get in traffic and go to different places like the old days. And another way that I do a lot of my training is in my car. My car is my university. It's basically my office. So whenever I'm in the car, I'm learning and I'm educating myself, and I'm, trying to become a better version of myself. And that's what I love about this business. So tell me, why this company and why now? Because I have a lot of reasons, but I want to hear yours.
Okay. Well, one of the biggest reasons is because this company is young. Okay. And when you get into something in the beginning, you know that when momentum starts, the people that were in it the longest are the people that benefit the most. So for me, I had never had the opportunity to go into direct marketing in the beginning. And that's a huge, huge advantage. Okay. And look at some of the people that were in Beachbody in the very beginning. Okay. Now, they made a hell of a lot more money than somebody that got in, 2 years ago. That's for sure. Okay, so timing is one thing. So that was very attractive to me. The other thing that I liked about this company were the products, because I used them first. I loved them. And if I can believe in something, I can sell it to anybody. I mean, not everybody can do that, but if I believe in something, word of mouth is the strongest advertising that you can have. Okay, and that's what direct marketing is, basically. It is getting somebody to understand how great the how great the comp plan is, how great sorry, I've got people texting me. How great the comp plan is, how great the products are. And when you believe in something full-heartedly, in those two things, and the people you're surrounded with. I love the people in Viseo. I mean, it's the only reason that that I got rolling. I have so much support. And everybody knows everything. They're just looking to educate themselves on top of the education that we already get in Overcome Nation. but it's such a good feeling to have everybody on the same page as me, and willing to help me in any way that I want. So there's all of the combination of those things, but mostly, you know, it's the right time. Momentum's going to start hitting in here in about 6 months to a year. And that is when this business is going to explode. And what I mean by momentum is where everybody is going to be knowledgeable about this product. Right now, when you say Vasail, a lot of people go, oh, I've never heard of it. So that's a great thing in this industry. You know, when somebody comes into, let's say, Beachbody, and they say, hey, you know, would you like to join? This is what we're doing, kind of thing. Oh, I've heard of Beachbody. Well, they either have a bad taste in their mouth, or they love it, or whatever it is. But nonetheless, the company's been saturated for many, many years. I mean, I remember when I got my Beachbody kit, shoot, almost 10 years ago, maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. I don't remember how long, but it was a long time ago. So it's been around for a long time. The advantage of getting in now in a young company that hasn't hit momentum is enormous. Okay. And we're all going to start seeing that here coming up in the next few months. So now is the perfect time. And like I said, an event, $1,600 to come in and to also get profit sharing. That's another big thing for me. When I got global profit sharing, I was in, because that's not offered on very many companies. It's you know, startups or whatever, but this is not by any means a startup. This is a man that has created, or a couple that's created 2 other companies that were legacy companies, which means $1 billion in sales or more. So for me to get global profit sharing or have the ability to do that is worth any amount of money. You know, and like I said, for $1,600 as opposed to the $300,000 that I've spent on other businesses, there was really no question in my mind.
I know. Just like you said, I was in another company before, and I was not offered profit sharing at all whatsoever. Like, when I heard that for the first time, I was like, what? Like, just like you said, it was a no-brainer. I just had to do it right away. So I'm so glad that we got to talk today. I got to know you better, and I'm so thankful for your time and your knowledge. And I look forward for us to do this again, and hopefully we're not going to have the same issues that we did this time.
No, I think it's a Facebook issue. I don't know what happened, because we connected a few times. It's just, you know, I don't know.
I know.
But yeah.
So thank you so much.
No problem. Hey, I just wanted to put things out there. You know, if you're in Karma's network and you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to her. This business is the thing to get into right now. You know, and the longer you wait, the less money you're going to make, and the longer you're going to be taking time for money. If you're in my network, I've probably talked to you. And if now is the time where you are ready to come into something like this, then give me a shout out too. Message me, text me, or whatever it is. But yes, thank you so much. It's a pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you. A pleasure as well. God bless you. Thank you.
Bye.